What's up, you beautiful collectors? This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at something I know a lot of you have been looking forward to. On today's episode, we have the new MakeToys MTRM-09 DOWNBEAT, which is their version of a masterpiece scale jazz. Really nice package here. You got some stuff that I can't read. You got the name of them right here in this really nice chrome sort of font. You got images of them in both his robot and vehicle mode. The side here kind of has like this blacked out image. Same thing here. You got him looking, hey, what's up, buddy? Just stuff that I can't read again on the bottom. And then on the back, you got the front and the back of them, as well as some of his accessories, such as his little speakers. He's got his safety line, his obvious car mode, his robot mode, and then images of the 3 different faces that he comes with. And then again, you got a whole bunch of... I kind of wish that they would actually put this in English. Not a lot of third parties just specifically will put their like bios and things in a different language. A lot of them use English. I would like to know what that actually says, but unfortunately, I can't even tell you that. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have DOWNBEAT opened up and out of his packaging. And I know, right? How dare I review a white figure with a white background? But I don't know, on the screen here I can see it, so hopefully you guys can as well. But as you can see, this really does look terrific. What you basically have here is a masterpiece-sized version of Jazz, and MakeToys has done a terrific job with it. Now, it's not to say that the figure is perfect. There are a few things about it that I'm not a big fan of, but for the most part, this is the best looking representation of Jazz in terms of a masterpiece scale that I believe we've ever gotten. As you can see, he's in his old Porsche 911, I think, mode. You got the big giant spoiler. Very cool paint detail. Obviously, he's all white, but you got the nice blue stripe with the red going down the middle. You got the number 4. I love the little extra painted detail here in the front with the vents. The side here has the number 4 as well. You got those very nice blue and red lines there. The windows, what I actually like is it's a little bit of a smoky color, I guess. So a lot of robot stuff is kind of hidden underneath there, but because it's smoky, it's not as ugly looking, I don't think. I think that was a really smart choice. You got the very nice red stripe going down here. Good clear detail. You can kind of see that there are lights that are on the inside there. And then the outer section is this very smoky plastic. So again, really nice detail. You look at the tires. Some people have complained about this. You got the gold spokes kind of throughout there. I really don't think that looks bad. You got the nice silver around it, but the gold, I think, looks pretty decent. It doesn't stand out and make me like, oh, I don't like the way that looks. I actually think it looks pretty good in hand. Now, the parts that I don't particularly like, you got this section right here. Now, this is going to be used in his robot mode. That doesn't tuck up. I wish that could actually rotate more. I don't know how they could have did that, made that kind of rotate, because this entire piece actually does. I don't know if I can actually rotate it out. Well, oh yeah, you can. I mean, you can see it rotates out here. It's probably not good to do that. I don't know. But it tucks right back up under. I just wish it could go a little bit further. That's one minor eyesore, especially since there's paint on there. It just kind of sticks out. And then people have complained about the back and how it doesn't really look complete. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you had this section here shift up, now these pieces here, maybe even if you just remove those entirely, I mean, I guess it kind of looks a little bit better, but it's this gap right here that I think people have the biggest problem with. If this was shifted up a little bit, I don't think it would be nearly as much in people's complaint list as it actually seems to have been, but I don't think it really looks all that bad, honestly. It could have been a little bit better. I mean, it would be nice if you could, like, rotate it up. I mean, I don't know how. I'm not a designer, but that would have been a little bit better if it was cleaned up. If you just, like, kind of eliminate that, I mean, that's pretty cool looking. But this does come in play with his legs, and you'll see that here in a bit. Overall, though, I really do love the way that he looks. I think that he stands out very nicely. Now, again, we got a white figure, so what better to compare him to than another white figure? Here you have him to the official Masterpiece Prowl, and you can see that the color is a little bit different between this. I mean, this is a lot of white paint, whereas this is molded white, so it does stand out a little bit different. But size-wise, these are almost exactly the same length, which is really very impressive to me. I love the way that kind of scales and looks together. And then for another comparison with a little bit smaller of a bot, I'll make it a little bit easier. I'll bring in Bumblebee, which obviously is a little bit smaller of a car. So setting him kind of there, you can see the scale that you're looking at. I think for what they're going with, it works really nice. Now, he also, he does... The tires feel a very kind of rubbery material. And one thing that I love is that they're actually very smooth. When you look at any of the other Masterpiece figures, you got like tire treads on them. Because this is like a race car, they're going to have no treads on the actual wheels. That's done to actually facilitate some traction. When these go really fast, it creates a lot of friction. And by having them be smooth like that, the friction actually makes the tires a little bit sticky so that it keeps a good kind of grip on the road a little bit more. Now, for some accessories, he does come with a bunch. The only ones that are really applicable here in his vehicle mode would be his little speaker things. You can come around here to the back, and they have little holes right here in the tail lights. You just peg these in just like so. And again, I'll show these off here in his robot mode. But that's really the only accessories that you can utilize here in his car mode. He does come with several other ones, but I think that that's great. He used it in like one episode. I have no idea. Known for having things like speakers and stuff. So that's really cool that they included those. And real nice detail. It's a nice purple paint. You got the centerpiece here, which is done with this silver kind of aspect. He comes, I'll show these off. He does come with a shoulder mounted cannon, which is much more G1 toy jazz accurate, which I think is great. It's done in this black plastic. You got a nice gray plastic up here. He also does come with his very iconic looking gun. This is absolutely something that you would basically see Jazz use. I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that it is just done in this gray plastic. It's very similar to what you have here, but you know, I mean, I just have this right here, but a nice silver paint on there I think would have looked a lot nicer. He comes with a couple hip speakers. Again, he like used it in one episode. I'll show you how to attach these. And then he does come with, it was in the very first episode I think, and again only one time that we ever saw him, the little grappling hook that attaches to his hand in robot mode. And then he comes with two alternate faces. There's one on him that's just kind of stoic. You got two right here. One here is a little bit of a smirk, which I think looks terrific, and then another one where he's like shouting. You got that really nice bluish chrome visor thing going on there. Really great that they include extras like that. I love seeing that kind of stuff. So lots of accessories with them as well, which does give a very nice, well-rounded product. Now, the transformation for this guy is actually fairly simple. It is complex, but once you do it a few times, it really is an easy process. First, what you're going to want to do is basically split it down the middle just like so. Come around here to the front, and then you want to split this a little bit on the sides, and then take this piece and just kind of push this forward. You have to detach back here as well. So loosen this and pull this entire top assembly kind of up just like that, just getting that out of the way. You can take this entire section, you can tuck this down in it if you want to. Right now it doesn't matter when you do it. Come around here to the doors, you can open these and kind of swivel them up, so just bring them up just like that, and then take these wheel sections and angle these out just like that. Do that on both sides. Very stiff joints. At first I felt like I was going to break it, but because this piece here is actually die cast, it is fairly stiff when you're rotating it. Come down here to the arms. Well, first you want to lower this piece, get that out of the way, and then take these arms and pull these out from the underside here. Again, get that little door out of the way. Pull this out just like that. Extend these out away from the body. Do that on this side as well. Pull this all the way out and get that kind of cleared through the top section right here, just like that. Then you want to take take this upper section and this kind of pull this away from the body a little bit, and then these little wheels actually swivel in. You got little tab sections right on the inside here. The little tabs here will fold in and lock into place. So do that on both sides just like that. Give that a nice little push so you feel it pop in. Come down here, swivel this down, bring these out. You can take the head, accordion this down and fill that in. Collapse the chest section in like so. Straighten this all the way out. bring this up like that. You can bring that down, bring that down. Now, normally you're going to tab all this in, but it's going to come undone at some point in time, so I'm not going to bother tabbing and locking all this in at this point. I'll do it later on and I'll show you how to do it, but bring these arms down, take this little piece, rotate this around, and now you have it actually backwards. When you see this tech detail, that's the reverse of it, so you need to rotate it there and then spin the wrist around just like so. So again, bring this whole section down, straighten this all out, collapse the forearm section, bring the arm down. You have this, so rotate this so that that tech detail is on the back, and then rotate the hand around just like so. And then again, just kind of leave that hanging there for now. Come around here to these wings, rotate these back just like so, and then collapse the backpack up just like that. So really very easy for the upper torso section. The legs do get a little bit tricky, but again, not too bad if you know what you're doing. Just take your time, follow the instructions, and it should be fairly easy. So bring these pieces out. I like kind of getting these out of the way because it gives you a little bit more, just lift that up, a little bit more clearance here along the sides. And you want to take this entire bit right here. This will detach. So you got a little tab in section here along the back section right there. You can see loosens it up, and then another little tab section right here, and you swivel this out all the way, getting that down just like so. Just kind of get that pulled away from the body itself. Come around here to the inside. You got a little flap right here that you need to detach from the little tabs on the inside there. So pull this out like so, and then you can actually swivel this. Make sure that you have enough clearance here. You want to make sure that this is all the way out of the way so that you can then rotate this down. I mean, that's actually really cool. So doing it again, you had it up like this. If you have it all cleared here, like I said, get the leg or the little fender pieces all the way down here in the bottom, and then you can have enough clearance to rotate this around. And it's really very, very simple actually to do. You just have to make sure you have everything cleared out of the way. Go ahead and then take this back section here. This will, it was up like this. Slide it down, and then you got a tab here that locks into the outside of his knee. Give that a nice little push, putting that into place like so. You can then start kind of rotating this all the way around. You got you got two hinges right here. You got one here and then one here kind of underneath the wheel. You want to rotate it basically at the wheel and then spin that around so it's going to be kind of like that. Hopefully that looked good. And then you take this section, fold this forward, but now you can see that there's a little gap right there, so I don't have that rotated all the way around. So just pull it a little bit further down and you can see where you're lining everything up. Rotate this piece around just like that, and then again put that up there. That's filling all that in. Come around here when you have that done, lift this piece out from the inside, and then take this piece and lift this out. You can then take the foot and extend this all the way out. Give it a nice little push. It's on a double hinge in there, so you want to make sure you fully extend it. Come around here to the back section again. You have this little piece right here that will detach from the side. It's a little bit tricky. Again, detach there. It's on a double hinge, so just kind of hinge it outward. Rotate this around, and then you have a little tab on the inside of this piece right here that's going to lock into this fender. So hinge this piece up, give that a nice little lock, straighten that all the way out, bring out the foot completely. I didn't extend this all the way out at the time, so pull this out. There we go. Get that out of the way, and I detached all this. So we'll do it again on the other side of the leg so that you can see it a little bit clearer. So straightening this out, and again, you want to make sure that you have this hinge properly so that that's a kind of smooth line. So bring that up. Are you detached? Yeah, give that a nice little push, locking that in there. And then you have the foot, and now you have that entire leg done. So there's a lot of steps, but it's actually fairly easy, like I said, if you take your time with it. So again, this side, you want to come around, you want to loosen this up, and then this entire section here, just kind of, once you have it loosened up all the way, will hinge all the way back, just like so. Then you want to make sure that you kind of have it pointing down like that. Make sure you have this all the way swiveled down. Tuck that in, just like so. Come to the inside here, open up the little flap. Now, one problem that I have had with this is that this does pop off of the back. It just tabs right back in there, but you do have to be careful with that little aspect. So again, bring that out. If you have it all cleared properly, it will swivel all the way around, as you can see, perfectly cleared out of the way. So again, you had it like this, just kind of hinge it out, swivels around. I really do like that engineering. That's cool. Now, unfortunately on mine, this doesn't tab in all that well. It pops out constantly. So probably am going to have to thicken that up with some Pledge with Future Shine just to kind of give it a more rounded sort of feel. So then again, we're going to rotate all this around, bring this section around, kind of hold that there, and bring that out to fill in the gap right there. Fold this little piece out like that. Perfect. You can come around here to the bottom, bring this piece out just like so. This whole section here, you want to detach this. This will swivel around. Get this out of the way and then rotate this. You got the little tab that you want to bring on the inside here, so just hinge that up. Make sure you line up that tab. Give that a nice little push. That locks it into place very nicely. Keep this straight. Come around here. You can open this piece up. I forgot to do that. And then pull this out. Straightening this all the way down, just like so. And then putting that back down there. And there you have his legs. Again, a little bit of a fiddling with it to make sure that you have all the kind of paneling closed up. But the legs look really nice when you have it done like that. I mean, the engineering is very involved and it's fairly complicated to do, but it's not overly complicated. It works, I think. Now, coming back up here to the torso area, some people have had problems with this, and it is something that I think that should have been a little bit better. When you lift these arms up, you have a little tab right here, and then on the inside, right in here, you can see a little gap. That tab is going to lock in there, so you have to line that up first. You actually have 4 tabs that you gotta do this with, kind of. So find that section, bring that in. Come on. Oh, I did forget. You actually have to hinge these arms back. They're on a little sliding joint. I apologize. I forgot to do that. So slide those back along the track, and then you can tab that down. So make sure you get that lined up proper. Lock that into place there. Do that on the opposite side as well. And then as you bring it down, you have the little red section down here that have tabs. So you have to then line that up and then lock that into place like so. Now the problem with that is it's just basically a friction tab. It doesn't lock. I do wish it was a bit of a more of a mushroom kind of tab to really solidly lock those into place, because if you rotate it or if you get a little bit too, see, like right there, moving the arm up made the whole thing pop out. So then I have to look and see, okay, did those come out? No. All right, did those come out? No. It's just here. So I do wish that was something that they actually improved upon, making it actually lock into place, like perhaps right here, making the little tabs on the actual bottom section that lock in have a little bit of a mushroom tip, so it grabs that when you lock it in. But overall, that's it. And there you have Downbeat in his very cool and G1 looking robot mode. And as great as the vehicle mode looked, I really think that robot mode looks even better. This guy just absolutely screams G1 jazz. Now, some people have complained about the gray. They kind of wish it was a little bit more silver. I think that would have been nice. You do have some silver paint kind of up here. And if it was down here on the shins and the feet, I think that would have looked a little bit better. But all in all, I'm very happy with how this turned out. The overall aesthetic just really does scream jazz. I'm so happy with it. I mean, the legs here, it can be a little bit fiddly to transform, but I think that they come together in terms of an engineering very, very well. Overall, just a great look to this entire figure. Now, starting with some of his accessories, because there is a lot like I talked about. These bits right here can attach to his back shoulder. You got little holes right up in the top section that you just peg these in. Really very, very simple in terms of the application of all these accessories. So you just put that in like that, and you can have him kind of look like those are sprouting out from the back of them. A really cool touch. I like that a lot, but you can see it just kind of pegs in there. So I love that. That's very simple and effective. Now, he also did come with some, like, hip ones. Let's see. Here these guys are. Does it say right or left? I don't know if it really matters. But you got a little slot on his hip skirt right here that you just... Oh, no, I guess it doesn't really matter. You can just put those right on the side like that. They just tab in there very nicely. So I love seeing all those tabs and kind of holes, a part of the figure that really don't look like out of place. Like, for example, I mean, you got the little slot right there. That doesn't look bad. It doesn't take away from the aesthetic of the figure, I don't think. You do have his shoulder-mounted cannon. As I said, this is something if you want to do more of that G1 toy look. This back section right here kind of has a little lip. So what you do is maybe get this out of the way, and you can take this and you can tab that right in there. It just sits in there via a friction, and then you can rotate that around. It's not all that secure of a connection, but if you're just going to have it kind of stand there, you can do that perfectly fine. Now, one other aspect that I really like is if you're going to go with this, which is a little bit more of that, you know, toy look, you can actually take these wings and you can rotate these back up and kind of get that out of the way, collapse that, and you can go for more of that G1 toy sort of look with his wings. I mean, great kind of versatility with this overall figure. And then again, you can just tuck those around and hide those if you wanted to create the more cartoon look, which is, for me, I think that is terrific. He does have his grappling hook, like I talked about. Now this, you don't have to really do anything too much other than just kind of have him hold it, get the little rope kind of position properly. So literally what you do is you open up the hand. You got the little articulated fingers. They're a little bit tricky to get to because they're very stiff. So you have the little slot on the inside there that he literally you just bring this in, kind of hold it in there like that, and then you can wrap the finger around a little bit more, and it doesn't, I mean, when you have it like that, it kind of looks like he's just sort of holding it, which I mean, I don't know if, you know, that would bother people, and that just knocked everything undone right up here at the chest. I don't know if that would bother people. It doesn't really bother me too terribly much. And you can go like that, I guess, but you can see you got a nice string, you got the grappling hook, you got the little winch right here. You just rotate that, and that collapses all the way back in. Again, I don't know necessarily how many people are going to be displaying him with this, but again, great accessory to include with it. He did have a lot of different things in the original cartoon, so that's cool to see. And then utilizing that same slot thing, you can have him hold his other gun, just kind of bring that in, and much like all the other ones with the little tabs and such, you can have that, which I think looks good. I feel like I'm having a hard time closing. Oh, there we go. And then again, moving things around does detach that. That's one aspect that I like I said, I do wish they were able to really fix on him. It's just, it does take away from some of the enjoyment, I'll be totally honest, when you're trying to pose him around or manipulate him, and that's going to detach. But see, you bring it down and it popped it out. So there is that frustration. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, guys. That does really annoy me. Luckily, I don't play with the figures all that much. It's gonna go on a shelf and he's gonna be fine. But for the purposes of the video, you're seeing a lot of that kind of movement on there, and it does take away from some of the fun of it. But look how cool he looks. I mean, that really does look like jazz, and because of it, I'm probably being a little bit more forgiving with that kind of tabbing section than I should be. So now for the head, you just literally slide this up, and the face tabs in. You got a little slot right there, so you can put in the face with him looking shocked. I'm going to put the face in there with him kind of smirking, because I think that's the best looking face for him. I love it because it just shows his kind of cool personality. So you just tab that back in there, take the little helmet section, slide that back down, and there we go, kind of wedge that down there like that, and then bring that in, and you can see the chest popped out. So I definitely am being a little bit more lenient with it because of that. First, articulation. The head is on a fairly nice ball joint. You can get it looking left, right, kind of pivot side to side for all that extra posability. The shoulders here, I'm going to hold this down. The shoulders, did that? Yep, that knocked that out on that side. MakeToys, if you're listening, do a run of these where these tabs lock in. it would infinitely make this figure much, much better. I really do think. So when you're rotating it, it gets caught, like, yeah, right there. So as you're doing it, this comes around, and unless you get that angled out, it's going to get caught on it, and that's what's kind of pulling it out, at least from what I see. So the rotation kind of makes it pop out because it hits other parts, and it kind of does that. So yeah, that would be an improvement, I would think. But nice range of motion there still at the shoulders. You do have the rotation here at the upper part of the bicep. You do have 2 joints here at the elbow, which is really nice. The wrists do rotate. You could also see that the knuckles have a joint right at the main set. He does rotate at the waist. You get it going left and right. There is a little bit of junk right down here, so it does kind of hinder some of it, but you do get some of that range of motion, which is very cool. I also love how they do have a ab crunch as well, but again, it's gonna knock it loose. So you do have the ab crunch. You can move these pieces out a little bit to get a pretty good range of motion at the hips. You got a nice ratchet joint that allows you to go in and out, forward and back. As I talked about here, you got die cast up in this section. You also got die cast in the thighs. He rotates at the upper part of the thigh. He does have 2 bends here at the knee. You got a hinge at the upper section, and then you have another one right below that. So you can get him, I mean, even, I guess if you left it like that, it's 90 degrees, but you can do it like that where it's a little bit more of a flow to the bend of his leg. So that's actually pretty nice. So lots of articulation. Oh, and then the feet actually do pivot side to side. They also do hinge forward and back. I guess you could say he's got heel articulation, as you can take this and bend that if you really wanted to. So all that articulation is really there. It is a fairly standard articulated figure. You just have to be careful with some of it. Now, for some size comparisons, getting him to stand up straight for the comparison. Obviously, here you have Jazz. Or honestly, I shouldn't call him Jazz. It's Downbeat. I apologize. But you can see that for the scale, again, works really very nice. Obviously, Bumblebee is a smaller character, so moving him back, bringing in a Prowl, you can see that at the head, they are almost identical. So this guy is going to look terrific in a masterpiece display. It just scales spot on and perfect. The coloring, the detail, everything just screams cartoon. But as I said, with the different options for him in terms of displays and the accessories, you really can even make him look like a G1 toy, which I think is wonderful.
What? What? Yeah? What? What is it? What is it? Mwah. Oh, uh-oh, there she goes. Oh, and she left. What? What? I'm trying to work. You're distracting me.
Now, for the transformation back to his vehicle mode, this is one reason why I really like doing both transformations, because some are trickier than others. In my opinion, this is actually trickier to get back into his vehicle mode than the actual reverse transformation. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate these arms and then rotate the fists around. It's going to come in very handy later on in knowing where things need to be lined up when you're tucking this back in, because that's probably one of the trickiest parts. Come down here to the legs. Obviously, we're going to start with that and kind of go in reverse. Lift this piece up just like so, and then you can tuck this up and in. Like I said, it's on a double hinge, so just lift it up and then kind of form it right inside here. Make sure that you get it as far in as you can. There we go, and then you can bring that down if you really want to. Do that on this side as well. Lift this up, kind of wiggle this into place. You might have some little pieces here along the side that kind of get in the way. Just kind of put that right there. Then come around here to the back section. We're going to detach this section here, and then as I said earlier, it is on a double hinge, and you can hinge it out and just get it to clear around and then go to the back bumper. And then obviously you want to rotate this piece to the back position just like so. So we're going to do that again on this side. So you detach this from the side, hinge this around, and get the back section of the car on the back, and then rotate the spoiler around just like so. And then you can take these and you can rotate this around. You can take this piece right here, just kind of leave it right there, just get it out of the way a little bit. Bring this down, do that on this side, kind of rotate this bit up inside here, and then kind of leave it just like that. Detach the little side panels like so, swivel those out, and then again, if you have everything clear out of the way, which I don't, let's see, okay, then take this, tuck the little heel section up, and then you can fold the little white piece down and in like that, and then you can get that to clear out of the way a little bit more. So when you have that big clearing right there, then you can take this section, you can rotate this around, and that'll line up very, very nicely. Come around to the inside. This section right here is on a little slider. Make sure you slide that down, and then you got two little holes right there that you're going to tab that into place. Well, is it the bottom? Yeah. So you lock those two sections in just like so. Then come around here to the wheel. You rotate this up and tuck that in. Now this may come out, but like I said, you can just take this and push it right back up there. So again, line that up, and then you tab all this in there. So fairly easy, like I said, as long as you get everything in the right sort of position to be able to not bump into everything. Because when things start bumping into everything, that's when things are forced, and that's when people break things. So just take your time when you're doing it. So again, we got a nice clearance right here. So we then hinge this around just like so, swiveling it all the way around to the actual inside. Make sure you slide this piece down, then tuck this in just like so right there. Then you can take this entire assembly. You got it, like I said, on two different hinges. You want to rotate it kind of down here on this lower one so that you're bringing this over to where the back section of the car is, and then you lock all that in. If this came out, again, you just take this and just tuck that right up under there, and then you bring the legs together, give that a nice little squeeze, and there you have the back section of the car basically done. Make sure you push these little pieces down. Take this whole section, we're going to bring this back, bring these doors out like so, hinge this kind of like that. If it didn't detach already, go ahead and detach it right there. Swivel this out. You want to take, like I was showing you before, you should have did this before when I took the arms out. I do apologize for not doing that in the proper order, but you have a little sliding section right here where the shoulders connect. Slide that up. It's really stiff, but get that slid up just like so. Keep that kind of together, and then do that on this side as well. Just kind of rotate it and push up at the same time. Makes it a little bit easier. Come around here to these wheel sections, detach this, rotate these all the way out, just like so. Come around here to the top, again, get this kind of hinged out of the way. Lift these doors like so. You can take the head and you can detach that, and you're going to eventually kind of tuck it right in this little gap right here. So when you do it, it's gonna kind of be like that. And then you want to hinge this whole section down just like that and keep the doors up. I do realize that I say like that a lot, so I'm sorry. So, yeah, I do recognize I'm not perfect, people. You want to bring these in. Now this part, it can be a little bit tricky. You want to open this little flap here and bring these all the way in. Now if you had the hands where you're supposed to do it, it does make it a little bit easier in lining it up. You want to have it positioned like this, where the little kind of groove bit right here is facing down, and you want the back of the knuckles to be facing right there. It's easier, like I said, when you have it positioned properly right when you transform it, or when you start transforming it. So then bring this around. This is kind of getting in the way. So when you do that, take this, like I said, you open this up, you tuck this kind of up and underneath on the upper part of the arm. You got a double hinge here, so you kind of bring that in, and then you lock that in like that. So as long as you have it properly kind of positioned, it makes it a whole lot easier when you're doing it. Trust me. And then just hinge this back like so. Kind of put that down, tuck the head all the way down. You can bring these these wheel sections, you can tuck those in just like that, kind of give that a nice little push, locking that into place. You got the doors, you can swivel these down along the sides just like that. Bring this section up, rotate this up. Now this might be a little bit tricky and you might not necessarily get it lined up properly, but kind of bend that and then bring these top section, or this top section, not these, I make it sound like there's more than one, and then just push all this in and get that to pop into place. Do that down here as well. Give that a nice little push. Bring this up and hook that underneath there. Make sure that the door is flush. This one is not, so we need to pull a little and then pop that out. Give everything a nice little squeeze to kind of get all the lines cleaned up. And there you have Downbeat back in his vehicle mode. Now, while some of the aesthetic choices in terms of vehicle mode here do kind of put me off, and while I wish that there were some improvements to the actual robot mode in terms of the tapping in of basically the waist, I still otherwise really do like this figure. And while I would absolutely love it if Takara finally did give us an official one, it seems that that one has hit a roadblock for some reason. And for me, for third-party figures, I do actually enjoy them. But for me, they serve the purpose of filling in a gap, at least until there's an official one. And Downbeat here absolutely does this. This guy really did turn out great. And without question, I would recommend picking this guy up. Yes, the transformation can be a little bit tricky, but if you go slow, take your time, and follow the instructions that I've given you, it's actually really easy to do. The overall build quality, the engineering, everything on this has just been really very well done. And with products like this, MakeToys is continuously impressing me and making me look forward to seeing what they come out with next. So if Downbeat here is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of third-party figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, be sure to click on that little bell right below this video, and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.